Okay, so first there were the holidays. Then there was a trip to Arizona. Then there is birthday season. And I gotta tell you, I'm having a really hard time getting back into the groove of homeschooling. It just seems like one thing after another, and I cannot seem to get back on track. So I thought maybe there were some of you who were living that life too with me, and I would tell you what I'm doing to get back on track and some tips and tricks that I have for you, because this isn't the first time I've been off track. Hello everyone, welcome to the Raising Arrows YouTube channel, and my name is Amy Roberts for those of you who don't know me, and I blog at raisingarrows.net. I also have a podcast, and you can find me on various places in social media. But today here on YouTube, I am going to be sharing with you some tips and tricks on how to get back on track with your homeschooling when you've gotten off of track for various reasons. It could be the holidays, it could be some really great things, it could be having a baby, it could be taking a trip somewhere. It seems like when something interrupts our norm for an extended period of time, we have a really hard time jumping back into either a new normal or a normal that was like the old normal. And so I want to give you some ideas for how to do that. Okay, so my number one tip is take it slow. Don't try to jump back into everything all at once. I say this at the beginning of the school year as well. Ease into it, especially if you have changed a lot of your curriculum. But in this case, you've been doing things very differently, and it's been an extended period of time, and now we're trying to ease back into homeschooling. We're not trying to go back in full force with every single thing we used to do. We need to start slow. And my second tip on this is to go fun or go done. When you decide to take it slow, what are you going to do? So go fun would be to do the fun things of homeschooling, maybe even add in some extra fun things that have to do with a holiday or the season. But go fun, kind of bring your children and yourself into this homeschooling routine with some fun things that start getting them back on that track towards the other not so fun things. Sometimes it's hard when you just jump into the boring monotony. So maybe if you mix it up with some fun things, or maybe like for us, we maybe start with morning time. Instead of doing all the individual subjects that are a little more monotonous and mundane, we start with the more interesting things of morning time, where we're all together around the table. We just do morning time, and then we stop for the day to help us get back into that routine of meeting for the day, and then take a break. And the next day, maybe we do a little more morning time and math. And then the next day, just keep building on that. So that would be the go fun or go done. And when I say that, I mean just do the basics, like the math and the phonics, and maybe the things that are more individualized, rather than trying to jump back into morning time. And that's actually what we ended up doing. We went with the kids' individual schoolwork and got it done. And then we started adding back in the fun stuff of morning time. The reason I chose to do it that way, the go done instead of the go fun, was because I still had some responsibilities out of the house that were taking me away from the school day and away from the energy that I needed to put into morning time. And so I wanted to just make sure we were getting back into the school day. And to do that, we needed to just go with the basics and go with the mundane everyday stuff. And then I was able to start adding back in that morning time consistently. Another important thing to do as you're getting back on track with your homeschooling is to set a stopping point. This means that you don't just homeschool endlessly. And that is something that tends to happen when you're trying to get back on track. You are trying to fit in all of those things, which if you go back to points number 1 and 2, you know that you need to start slow and you need to kind of figure out this versus this. So go fun versus go done, and don't try to do it all. But here you also need to set yourself a stopping point so that you don't just continue all day long into the evening hours, into the supper hour. Go ahead and tell yourself, listen, whatever we have done by 2 p.m., that's it. We're stopping there. We're not going to keep dragging this thing on. I know mothers who find themselves 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the day and still working with homeschooling. They never have a stopping point to their homeschool day. And everybody in the family needs one. Your kids and you as well need a stopping point to the homeschool day. There needs to come a point where there is no more school being done, no more traditional school being done. Obviously, learning and educating happens all day long, but you need to have a point where this is the end of the school hours. We're not going past that, no matter what has gotten done for the day. I have found that as we are getting back on track here, that I have some kids who have really struggled with their time management coming back into a normal school day. And they are finding that it's 2, 3 o'clock and they are still plugging along. And at 4 o'clock, we almost always watch about an hour of TV. The kids take turns choosing. And some of these kids are not able to watch because they haven't finished their schoolwork. And I just decided we weren't going to do that. We weren't going to punish them. We were just going to have them start working on their time management. And everybody was struggling, frankly, to get back on track. So this wasn't something new for this particular child. It just needed to be something that we were patient with. And so we made sure that by 3 o'clock he was done. And at 4 o'clock, they were able to watch whatever show they were going to watch, and he was included in that. And then the next day, we would talk a little bit more about, okay, you need to get back on track. You need to kind of work through this. He's also the child that has to take math in snippets. So he does about half of a math lesson, and the next day he does the other half. And that is because while I could push him with his time management, he is not quite there yet. And if I give it to him in pieces, we do a whole lot better. And he gets it done then. He gets each half done. It just takes him a little bit longer. I would rather he does that and master the information than try to blow through it and not understand it at all. So, sometimes you just have to tweak things a little bit. And there are going to be children who struggle to get back on track more than others. There's going to be moms that struggle to get back on track more than others. And some of you just jump right in, no big deal. But for me, if I stay out of a routine for too long, I find that it is difficult for me to get back into the routine. That is one reason that we homeschool year long, that amongst many other reasons. Part of that came about because of morning sickness, and I needed to be able to take a break for the morning sickness and then come back. But I found that after the morning sickness, I always had to take things slow. I always had to follow these things that I just told you to get back on track a little bit at a time until we were back into a normal routine, and then everything was great. Something else I would highly recommend you do is click the link below that goes to my free 4 Steps to a Better Homeschool Day class. This class will give you the steps that you need to take in order to start your day off well and to keep it moving in the right direction. Like I said, it's a free class. It's easy to go through. It gives you some very actionable steps you can take right away to get everything back on track. And in there is a coupon code for my Creating a Homeschool Schedule You Love class. So don't forget to check that out as well. The link is down below. Just click on that and you'll go straight to that 4 steps class. And you will be amazed at how easy these steps are, but how amazing the results are. All right, that's all I have for you today. Don't forget to check out raisingarrows.net for all your large family homemaking and homeschooling needs, and we will see you next time.